just wanted to touch base on something. So I'm a huge fan of Division, as everybody knows. I don't need to keep saying that. But with this new update, I bought into it because of the Brooklyn part of it, and the references of going back to the first game and stuff like that. And so I've played all the missions. For the first time ever, I dedicated time to getting the hunter masks, and I push against that a lot of times because the hunter masks don't mean as much in this game as they do in the first game. In the first game, if you wanted a hunter mask, you had to absolutely grind for it. In first map, DC, you had to do little puzzles. You know, you did jumping jacks to spawn this one, you know, little things like that. Nothing too drastic, and nothing that was a real kind of waste of your time, or a time suck, I should say, not just waste of your time. But and they kind of went back to that with Brooklyn. All the masks are relatively easy to get. I spent most of the time watching Road Gold's video. It's very condensed and just, this is how you do it. And kudos to that group that figured all this stuff out. I don't know how you do that without inside information. I have no idea how you do that. There's got to be leaks somehow. There's some of this.
I need to debrief with Schaefer. Kelso had to go. Said it was safer for us if she's not here.
And I don't know why that constantly plays. There's no need of that constantly playing because there just isn't. I mean, every time you log in, it plays. So I feel like that's a bug. But close that out. So anyways, so all the maps are relatively easy. This is my favorite. This map here has become my favorite. And I had credits left over, so I bought the I guess it's White Tusk outfit. Because it kind of makes me think of Helldivers with the cape running behind you and stuff. I don't know. I just kind of got a Helldivers little thing of it. So the only mask that I had a really hard time with was the Craver mask, because the pots didn't. No video said you had to go back to the boat to do it. The first time I did it, I didn't have to. I didn't go to the boat, or maybe I went to the boat and I didn't realize it at the time. But I went around finding the pots. Nowhere to be found. They just didn't spawn for me. So, somebody invited me to the party to do it, and they had their map set on heroic, and they were not. Basically, what they were hoping was that somebody was going to come in that could handle heroic and do it for them, because their build, they were like shooting BBs at the hunter. They did like 0 damage. They were just not ready for that fight. And that fight is a timed fight. So myself, once I realized that it was basically up to me, I ran out of time to kill him. So after that, I couldn't get the tanks to respawn. Every other one was not a problem. The funny thing is the stuffed animal one, that one still, you walk by them and you find them. It's relatively simple. I did have an individual reach out and ask me if I could help him. And basically what he was asking was for me to just do it for him. He didn't want to put in any time watching a video. He didn't want to do any of that stuff. He just wanted me to basically bring him around the map, get all the stuff, and then go kill the hunter. And we did one mask like that, and then I was like, I'm not progressing my own thing because I've already got that mask. So it's like, I don't mind helping somebody. Like, I'll step in and help you, but you got to help yourself too. You can't just rely on other people to do everything for you. Granted, I say that as I'm saying that I also watched a Rogue Gold video, but you know, I put the work in. I did all the hunters solo, except for that one. And then I volunteered to pay it forward by helping this other guy, and he was having problems with his PC. He kept getting disconnected. We got halfway through the antennas, and he got disconnected. So then you got to start it all over again. So then we jumped over to do the stuffed animal ones. He got disconnected again. We had to start all over again. And part of that was because I was having him pick everything up. I wasn't interacting with everything. Looking back on it, I probably should have, but earlier in the day I had a disconnect. So I didn't want, I didn't know what the cause of that was. So we did a couple, and then after that, he just said he's going to work on his PC. And I said, well, we can go back and I can collect all the stuff. And then, but he didn't want to do it that way. So, but playing through the missions and the map, the map kind of feels like Warlords of New York-ish. Like, I'm not a fan of Warlords of New York because every time... What you got here? Every time I'm also testing some settings that I did as well, so I changed some settings. So here, we'll go right here. Right? Yeah, cool. So anyways, so as I was playing through all the missions, so basically what I did was I ran through all the missions on normal to just check them out. I wanted to take it all in. I wanted to, like, everybody said it was like 10 to 12 hours. I played all the content. I was done in like 3 hours, and I don't feel like I rushed through it. So after I played everything in normal, I went back through, played it in heroic, all except for the army mission. I hadn't got to do that one yet. And somebody called out in general chat, and they were trying to get what mask is it? The Carduceus? Yeah, this one. They were trying to get this one. So I went, the Catalyst. So I hopped in. I said, I haven't played this in heroic, but we'll play it. I ran my skill build, which a lot of people don't like it when people bring skill builds, but the skill build that I have is actually really, really done well. Since that time, I've actually played that mission on heroic. I can do every mission in heroic with my skill build because it's also a damage build as well. And this is the build that I used, this is probably the only build that I have ever made from someone else's build. And this is actually GC Rock's build for his raid, when he recommended for the raid. I did switch these out at one point, but I didn't save that as the build. And then the only other thing I did was, instead of using the FAMAS, I was using this FAMAS, but I've switched it, and now I'm using the Huntsman, which I haven't actually used the Huntsman yet. I just got it by doing all the hunter masks. So I tried to match it a little bit with the FAMAS, except I have the crit hit chance on this one. And I think on this one I have what? I have damage to armor. That's the only difference. And I could switch that at any time. I just wanted to test it. But I feel like there's more, which is why I want to make this video. I feel like there's more to the DLC that we're not told, that we're not being told. I went back in and I looked for different things. Like I went to the plane crash from the first game when you first built a character. I kind of went through some things to see. And I know I haven't quite gathered all the cards yet, but I know there's, I was actually watching Hello 4000, and she went through and did, she did an echo that I hadn't seen yet, which is pretty cool. It's words directly from the first game, exactly how they were said from the first game, and like a little small capture in time, which is interesting because this character that you're playing doesn't know that. They saw it, but they have no idea what it's about, or or anything. They just know who it is that's saying it. They don't know who they're saying it to. But and I'm probably going to work on doing that, is getting all those things. I got to get the pumpkin things. So there's a bunch of different things, but all through it's like the map is so condensed that it's hard to play with skill builds because all of your skills are shooting everything in the area. And that's the other thing that's a little bit, and granted, I don't have a silencer on the certain gun that I'm using now. So that's probably part of it is bringing people in. But I was playing on a heroic map. I was taking over a control point. At the same time, there was a elite patrol coming by. There was an elite convoy coming in. There was a hostage situation on one block, and on the other block was I think it was the speaker thing. So I had all those people coming in to the whole thing, and I was going through and just trying to get through it. And I disabled everything at the control point, so I didn't have to worry about fighting anything other than NPCs. And I went through and cleared it. And it's like, as soon as I got done doing that, and I was gathering all my stuff, another resource convoy came through. And then there was off to the side, there was like a control, not a control point, but wherever they hang out. And so it was just like nonstop. And that's kind of why I don't really play Warlords of New York too much, because you get into so many unnecessary fights that takes you away from the content that you really want to do. I like the DC map because it's more spaced out. You can focus on the things that you want to do and don't get stuck doing things that are just wasting your time. You know, it's like I have it on normal, and the only reason why I have it on normal was because I was walking around the Brooklyn map just looking for things, trying to unlock every little piece of the map and just trying to gather things, open doors, go into things, just stuff like that. And I didn't want to be bothered with having to fight all the time. I just wanted to kind of explore a little bit. The call for help thing hasn't worked once for me. I've actually called for help a couple times and nobody's answered. I did matchmaking for a mission, and obviously people are there. For being a free weekend and being on Game Pass, I haven't really seen an uptick in players. I'm sure there is. Chat looks like there is. But as far as like going into safe houses and stuff, I haven't really seen a whole lot more activity, which is kind of surprising. But I've enjoyed the missions. I don't understand like the Rat Queen and all that stuff. I don't really get where all that fits in. We're learning about new people that we'd never heard of before. And I guess if you read the books, some of them are, I guess, from the books. I haven't read the books. So, some of it is kind of new. I kind of wait for NGN to come out and kind of explain it all. But I do like going back to Brooklyn. I'm sad that it's fall and not winter. I think it would have been a bigger impact if it was winter again. Because I think that's probably the number one reason why everybody goes back to 1 is because of the atmosphere of it and everything. But I feel like there's more. I mean, $15 for the DLC, I think is reasonable. I did pay for the deluxe, which I kind of wish I hadn't, because I really didn't feel where that extra $10 got me anything worthwhile. So I've been working through I haven't bought the Game Pass yet, but I'm working through it a little bit. I actually thought the Game Pass came with it. That's what I thought Deluxe got you, was the Game Pass as well. Or the season, I should say, but it didn't. It just got you some cosmetics, which I am a cosmetic junkie. I try to collect every piece that I can. I kind of slowed down on buying them, but it's like, I was thinking about it, like for $25, if you compare that to games that are $40 and you're only getting 6 hours content, right? So, I mean, like me, I went in to the army mission and I was going to help a guy, He did a matchmake, so I joined, and there was 4 of us, and we ran through that mission. It was his 9th time, one of the other guys' 5th time, and then another guy's 3rd time. It was my first time running through on heroic, and I ended up getting the exotic. I offered it to the guy that got it 9 times, that had played 9 times. He refused to take it. The guy that did it 5 times, he bounced. I tried to whisper him in the thing, and I didn't get his message. And the 3rd guy wanted to go again, so we went again. So we went like 3 or 4 more times, and the 9 guys still hadn't got it. The 3rd guy gave up, so me and the 9 guy ran one more time, which now he's up to, well, almost 15 times. So when we got done, I said, dude, if you want this mask, you can have it. I don't care. I got it now, so it'll drop for me in the open loot, possibly, right? So I don't need it anymore. So I said, I will give it to you. And I don't think I think if I share it to him, I don't think he gets it in a loop drop, where I've seen other people have been getting that in open loots and chests and stuff like that with exotic stuff. So I'm like, if you want it, you know, I'll equip it, and then or whatever, and I'll take it off, and then I'll drop it for you. And he's like, nope. He goes, I'm gonna get it myself. And I'm like, that's cool. That's honorable. You know, we'll go from there. Whether or not I even use the mask, I am gonna play around a little bit, I think, and do some stuff. I want to test out. There's a build. I saw somebody made a build, and I want to test it because I watched. So the funny thing about the build videos is, like, I don't usually, like, most of my builds are my own thing, and I play around with them. This one here, like I said, I was going to do a raid. I felt obligated in a way that if I'm going to do a raid with a group, that I should run the build that they recommend. So that's what I did for this build, and I like this build, so I just keep using it from time to time. I only use probably 2 to 3 different builds. I have 2 skill builds, one with Umbra, and then one with just Wyvern, and a 3-piece Wyvern and a 3-piece whatever the other one is. And then I have a couple other little builds that I kind of tweaked a little bit to play around with to learn. But I was watching a build the other day, which I want to try it, a video that I saw. And when somebody goes through and makes a build video and they show you what you want to do, it's important to pay attention to their expertise levels on those pieces. Okay. So I'm watching a guy and he's going through his heroic stuff. He's not taking hardly any damage, and he's taking everything out. But then I noticed that the weapon he was using was an expertise level 28. All of his gear was expertise level 20. It's like, well, does it work as good? Or is it as good, or is it even usable, let's say, if you don't have all that expertise? So the certain gear set that he was using, I don't have any expertise on. I don't have the weapon he has. I think it's a raid exclusive, and I haven't gotten that yet. So I probably just used the FAMAS, I think, because he was using it in a thing. So I'm gonna throw that build together because I want to see how feasible it is without having it all expertised out. You know, and that's the thing I'm noticing is these guys make these videos, and the other thing that gets me is, like, now it's going to be harder for content creators to blow those kind of resources on things because you no longer have a mule character. There's not that, you know, like, I only have 2 characters. I have 2 maxed out characters, and then I have 1 hardcore character that I think is level 20. The game became unstable, so I stopped playing my hardcore guy. And then I have, I think I like a level 6 or level 10, just regular, that I started playing again a while back. So it's like, and I feel like by getting rid of the expertise, or by getting rid of the mule thing, I feel like they've kind of broken the watch now. Because if you look at it, like me, I don't have any resources, but all my resources right now are maxed. Like, just by the time you gather everything on the ground and you go through and find all the other stuff, it's all maxed out. So now I get these things, which has allowed me to bump these up because I didn't have to worry about anything. I didn't have any reason not to. I got to do a little bit more. I haven't even done this one yet, which is what I'm about to do, is dump a ton of resources into this thing just to make sure it's good. And then I want to bump these two up more. But I don't have to worry about resources anymore because it's like a constant bank. They're always full. They've been full right along since Brooklyn. I filled them and I've been able to grind a bunch of stuff, and then I go around, collect a bunch of stuff, and they're full again. So I don't know. It's kind of a neat. It's an interesting twist, and I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how beneficial it was to do that, but I haven't played around either with this really at all. The disappointing thing with this to me is that it's not on your build. That's the only thing. Like if you run a skill build or if you run a DPS build, you have to switch it between the two because you're going to want to do different things. Like for instance, I have this one here, probably the only one that stays, but I have this one, which is skill duration, right? Both firearms and electronics. Your skill duration is increased by 25% of your current critical hit value, damage value. And then this one here is while electronics, 50% your skill haste and your skill damage. So you're going to want to swap this one out. So I kind of wish in a way that you could just create this, and then when you saved your build, this was there. Because otherwise, I mean, you're going to want to change it. I would think you're going to want to run loaded up, probably. I would think probably it would be loaded up. Yeah, I put loaded up on if I'm going to run this build. So that's the only thing I kind of wish, because it doesn't save with the loadout. So that's how that is. That's how I feel anyways. But hopefully you guys are liking the update. I like it. I don't dislike it. I think they did a really good job. I love that they brought some nostalgia back. I felt like there's a little more they could have done, but you know, it's because it kind of feels like a different story. I don't know. I don't really where it branches off, but I don't know. It's different, but I'm liking it for $15. I think it's pretty decent. I wouldn't suggest doing the deluxe. I just don't see like the deluxe is worth it. But so anyways, that's it. That's longer than I wanted it to be. Good luck in your hunter masks. And just have fun. I'm gonna actually go back now and try to get all the ones from DC. Or not from DC. I have all these from DC. I want to go back to Warlords, I guess, and try to do those and get all those. So I got that done. Because it was actually kind of fun to actually hunt them down and fight them. I was sad because the last one, I figured in a way as I went through, like none of them are really super hard. I mean, they all kind of do the same thing. They have a little different twist. One of them had a fire turret. One of them had the anti-fire there that takes your armor away or whatever. I found that a lot of times NPCs would come in. So one of the things that kind of pissed me off was I did the lumen mask, and after no, it wasn't the lumen mask was actually really cool. I thought that was really fun. I enjoyed that one. And it was interesting that you couldn't just go directly to where it was. You had to actually follow the blue lights and go up on the platform. Otherwise, it wouldn't change where he was. I can't remember which one it was. One of them I did where you go down. Oh, the one with the satellites, or not satellites, but the antennas. When I came back up, there was a territory control right there, and I'm fighting him. He's amongst them, and they're still fighting me. Like none of the NPCs went after him, which I thought was interesting because all the others that I had done, if there was NPCs around, they would do both. They would fight him and me. But these guys just fought me, and one of them was one of the big guys from the first division when you did the mall. That kind of guy with the big gun and everything when he come out, which I thought was pretty cool. That they a lot of the bosses now are that guy, that kind of makeup. So he came after me. He ignored the thing, so I couldn't focus on the hunter. I had to focus on that guy, and I thought I was gonna die, but I managed to get away, and I managed to actually kill the hunter and then go back and kill that guy. So it was kind of interesting, and a lot of times when I did the Craver mask, there was a moment where there was no NPCs around. I cleared them first. I brought him in, and then all of a sudden NPCs just came in for some reason. And luckily they focused him and he focused them and I could kill him. I was never able to get the barrels, even going to the thing. As I said, I couldn't get them to pop all the time. So I did get him once. When I called him, he came and I got a Delta. And I was so pissed because it took me so long to get the things to spawn. But they're a lot of fun. They were fun. But the one I was most disappointed in was the one at the end. When you go back to the original office where you first meet Faye and you spawn that one, which is the last one, which is Necrosis, I think it is. You go up on the thing to fight him, and all he did was he hunkered down, and his leg was open, and I just basically shot his leg till he died. There was no fight. He just kind of sat there. And I was like, afterwards, I'm like, I wonder if it was like that for everybody. So I started going and watching other people that did it, and their fight was much different than mine. And I was like, that's really weird. And so I was like, I wasn't on normal when I did those. And so I was like, that's interesting, you know? So then I went and, I was also kind of disappointed that there wasn't some kind of a cutscene there. You know, when you walk in like an echo, you know, it wouldn't, you know, and I wish we could have kept our first characters anyways from the first division and just upgraded them to level 60 or whatever. And I've said that in the past. So anyways, hopefully they fix the helper thing, because it kind of sucks that it's broken. So many people aren't able to get the gun because they can't build up their and I don't even know where I'm at. Yeah, I'm nothing. I'm nothing because I wasn't able to get it. I either don't hear the calls, or when I do hear a call and I hit map, it puts me like, I'll be like over here. The map will just instantly come down to the out of bounds. I don't know why it does that. And that doesn't matter what map I'm on. As soon as I bring that menu up, answer the call, it'll go to out of bounds. And that's because it doesn't know where it is, because it doesn't recognize it. I've even gone so far as to, like with Xbox and PlayStation, people said you shut certain things off. So I shut my antivirus off, and I did stuff like that, thinking it was a firewall issue, because I guess that's what it is with those two. But it's still not doing anything. I have my thing to all, everything. So I know people are cheesing it. They're like kicking their friends off their friends list, and they're saying, hey, I'm calling. Or they're kicking people out of the clan. So they're vice versa, stuff like that. So they're cheesing it because it's just not working, which kind of sucks. But hopefully for those of us that are trying to do it legit, there'll be some payout. Maybe we'll get it in general. But we'll find out. So anyways, take care. Have a great journey in the division, hopefully. And thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. I'd kind of like to hit 200 pretty soon. Be kind of cool. So I'd be happy about that. Normally I stream on Twitch and YouTube from like 9:30 p.m. Eastern until whenever. But I've been a little bit scattered lately because I got some stuff going on, personal stuff that I'm trying to get ironed out. My wife is on a 2-week long vacation, so I have a lot more life things to do around the house. Some adult stuff that I got to do that is not really so much fun when you're all by yourself, but I'm getting that. And so I've played more than I've been able to in the past, but I haven't been able to stream more. So hopefully these last couple of weeks, or this last week here, I can probably get some more time in. So anyways, take care, have fun, we'll see y'all later.